So, all right, so I'm live streaming these and I'm also at the same time recording it, so I will upload it later to YouTube. So let me just get these started and I'll explain what are we going to show today and why this matters. Okay, so, all right. Okay, so what I've done is I've basically built a tool for Hermes, for the Hermes agent. I believe that's pronounced Hermes or Hermes. That lets you basically just have fully private local video and voice calls at the same time, so like a video call. um, Completely, you can run these on your local network, and if you use a local model, then it's like full privacy, right? Now, for the sake of this demo, I'm using Gemini 3 because I found that it actually goes relatively smooth with analyzing the video feed. But you could theoretically run it with a local model. I mean, theoretically, no, you can run Hermes with a local model, and then boom, essentially you have like the way that these works. What I'm going to show is you have a way to have a conversation with your agent on a video call without actually going through any third-party provider, like any tool like Skype is that, like whatever, like Discord or WhatsApp or whatever other sort of like third-party tool, which even though a lot of these tools say they are like end-to-end encrypted, we know the truth, right? We know the truth. We know how that goes. They're private until they're not. And right now, this is, and you can go and look it up on my GitHub. Actually, it's open source because it's really nothing else than a fork of Video Ninja. So I call this video tool. This is the repository, and you can go and essentially what this is a full fork of Video Ninja. Video Ninja is what I'm using actually. Now to stream my workstation. So what you're seeing on the screen with the Hermes console is not the machine I'm streaming from, right? So I have a workstation, so a display with a workstation that I have under my desk, and then I have the MacBook Air, which is where I have OBS running. And the idea is essentially kind of the same, right? Because I realized that Video Ninja, the way this works is essentially the data goes peer to peer, which is why it works that well, right? Now, Video Ninja has a website that it's basically a server that is hosting the official like an instance of Video Ninja, which is used for the handshake between the client and the consumer and like sort of the publisher and all the different parties that are involved in that. But you can actually have just video calls with these, so you can bring in the feed of the video and audio feed from someone else on your stream, and that's what I'm doing really right now here. So it has like very good latency because it's really peer-to-peer, right? So essentially what this is doing is, what the video tool is doing is actually when you run it, and I haven't gotten it to work perfectly with a third-party tool if you want to use Telegram or whatever to chat to your agent, but kind of that defeats the point of privacy, right? So the whole context of this tool is I want to be able to to chat with my agent LAN locally at my home, maybe to use it as a cooking assistant, maybe to use it as a teacher, right? Because remember, in the context of Open Lesson and all the educational technology that I'm building, the stack that I'm building, the idea here is to be able to use that as a way to implement agentic tutoring and agentic learning workflows. But I'm going to show how this works. So the way this works is you install it like you would install any Hermes plugin, and then you can just say, hey, let's hop on a video call, shall we? And I don't know if you can read that on the screen. It's pulling the tool. It's starting the tool. So what it's going to tell you is it's going to give you a link, and you will notice that this link, if you zoom in, it's actually a local network link. So it's a 192.168.178.28 IP. So that's not something that is exposed to the internet. And I can actually, I'll probably make it so that it renders a QR code here or something. For now, I was thinking just because I just want to show these to you guys. I'll just take a picture. I have my phone here. I'll open it here. And what is happening is basically it opens these. And I'm like, hey, hey Hermes, can you say hi to the audience?
Hey, listening. What's on your mind?
So you can talk to it, right? Like,
hi everyone. Great to be here with you.
Can you describe what you're seeing right now?
I see your Epson printer, some papers, a beige curtain, and your laptop screen showing our chat.
That's cool. And how would you describe me right now?
You've got a dark beard, long hair, and look ready to get some work done.
Exactly. Thanks. We can stop the call now if you want. Let's stop it. Cool. So as you can see, it literally, I've just had a video chat with Hermes locally. And what's more, I think the advantage here is that you can do things like, put the agent on hold. So the way that this is built is there's a constant prompt injection. There's a constant nudge. I'm going to talk a bit about the architecture, the way that this is built. But the idea here is that you can really, and the lack is not perfect, okay? And that really comes down. I'm using XAI for the text to speech and speech to text. It's using whatever you configure Hermes to have. If you configure it to actually have the local edge TTS, then it's even like fully private or whisper. You know what I mean? Like I'm using XAI here because I just like the voices, and I think they look very natural. And this plugin comes in also with the following. So, and this is more geared towards, let's do some, tutoring or whatever, right? So you can actually go and do screen share. Now I haven't tested this on the phone, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna test it on my machine here. So give me a second, okay? So I can say, hey, I want to share my screen while I work through some math problems and I want your help. And it's going to do the same. It's going to actually, it comes with a screen share tool. So and it also has the two-way audio, right? So I can just copy the link. In this case, what I'm going to do, give me a second. I'm gonna actually close these because I need to open. What I'm doing is I'm gonna open a chat with myself. I just have a bunch of stuff there that shouldn't leak. All right, perfect. So I just shared the link with myself here on this machine. And what I will do now is I will open the link here in this machine and let's see what happens. So I'm going to open the link on this machine and I'm going to proceed. I'm going to tell it that I want to share the entire screen. And I'm like, hey, so how's it going? Can you tell me what you see in my screen? Do you see my screen?
I see your desktop with OBS and terminal.
That's awesome. Cool. So let's do the following. I'm gonna work on some math problems right now. If I make a mistake, will you just tell me? Just say, hey, stop. That's actually a mistake. Let me know out loud, please.
Will do. I'll shout if I spot mistakes.
Okay. So I'm gonna start by trying to solve a very simple equation, and it's gonna be x equals 3 times y plus 6. Can you see the equation on my screen? Can you read it, please?
I see it. X equals 3y plus 6.
Perfect. So, and now it's going to be a system of equations, and I'm going to do y equals 3 plus 65 times x. Okay, so I'm going to try to solve these. And I think what I will do is I will actually move on the second equation. I will change. I'm going to make a mistake on purpose. I'm going to I'm going to move the 3 to the other side, and then I'm going to do 3 equals.
Got it. Y equals 3 plus 65x added.
And now, so I basically switch the y and the 3 right now, as you would typically do you're solving these systems. It's slow now.
Hey, stop. You missed a negative sign.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, thank you very much. Cool. Let's stop the call now. There's a bit of lag. I'm sorry for this. It's not perfect yet. It's not perfect, and I have to see if if there's better ways that I can do this. Let me just close these, and oh, sorry guys, I forgot to actually share my screen. You didn't see that. I was actually using this Kali draw. And working through these, and you couldn't see that. I'm sorry for these. Anyway, the whole point. Yeah, I'm sharing the other screen so you wouldn't see these. I was just using this Kali draw. Anyway, the whole point of these is that you can see that I'm using it. You can use it for educational purposes, and I'm gonna add a lot of stuff around it to make it feed the open lesson and the sort of uncertain systems ecosystem for learning. But I thought, look, this is generic enough that, to be honest, I think that just it's something that I want to put out there. It's something that it's public. It's open source, and the way that this works, by the way, is built and is explained here in the README a little bit. Although the README is AI generated, so sometimes these things don't end up like looking really nice, but that's the idea, right? So the idea is it runs all in the host machine, the same machine where you have the Hermes, right? And the idea is that it actually it wraps around Video Ninja, right? Video Ninja, if you go to Video Ninja, video.ninja, here they explain everything, right? So you can create rooms, you can add your camera and whatever. So Video Ninja is a public public repository, it's an open source project, and so the idea here is it wraps around these, right? And it adds a writer, and it adds it adds a viewer, a viewer, and a watcher. So it adds basically because essentially what you get is a link that is displaying the audio and the video feed. What we're doing here is we're adding scripts on top of this page. That's what we're doing. So it's a very lightweight fork, right? But we're adding scripts on top of this page that what they do is they actually capture frames. They capture the frames and they keep a running buffer of frames in the local drive. And then for each of these frames, we have like a symlink to the latest frame. And so we're essentially prompting the Hermes agent to just look at those frames all the time, right? So it's not really looking at video like in real time. It's looking at frames, right? And we also just keep a history of the last 5 minutes of frames or something like this, right? To not collapse the system. And the same for screen sharing, by the way. And then essentially the way that the audio works is it's essentially using whatever Hermes has that is very good as like TTS and STT. But what we're doing is Hermes is writing the MP3 locally, and then we're streaming the MP3 using the WebRTC channel directly, right? So we're actually just passing the audio data directly so that it actually comes out playing on the browser that you're kind of holding, because you can also do your phone, right? So you can have your phone with you in the kitchen, and then you hear the audio there. And then there's another script that what it's doing is it's listening to your audio, it's using it's transcribing it, and then wait a second, was it transcribing it? Yeah. And essentially what it does is it just turns it into a prompt that is injected in the Hermes cycle, right? So it's simple, right? It's not too complex. So you actually have like most of the weight of this repository is really just the core of Video Ninja, which is like it's an amazing tool. and then we're just doing literally, we're adding like the snapshot video to frame, we're adding the TTS player, and we're adding basically the audio in, and that's it. And so essentially it's also optimized to basically and configured to basically work on a local network, right? Yes, you can theoretically run these if you want on a VPS, right? You can run on a VPS and then talk to it, but the problem is, and that's something I have to investigate maybe with the Hermes team. Um, if you use Telegram, for example, it would actually work, but the audio from like the inbound audio from you does not always work like very well. It works the best when you use the client interface. And again, it's kind of like the whole purpose of the use case, right? So it has these tools. It has the starting tool, and it has then the say tool so that the agent can talk to you, and it has basically something to spawn the viewer, to start the watcher, and then something to get the latest frame, right? And you can configure this. There's a bunch of configurations in here, in terms of like auto starting and whatnot and things like these, and the whether you want to enable TTS or not, because you don't have to enable the voice, right? By the way, you don't have to enable the voice. But the idea is this: is essentially you have a way where if you essentially use a local model video tool, this one, and you're using the client, so you're not using any third party, and you're using the local TTS and STT from Hermes, you have a fully private way to communicate with your agent, but like a video call, both video and audio. I'm going to try to optimize the hell out of it so that we have as less latency as possible, so that it feels almost like an actual conversation. But again, the use cases in mind are also not necessarily thought to be a chat, like a turn-based chat. It's actually very useful for things like, hey, keep an eye on these and let me know if something happens, right? So you basically let the agent just monitor a screen, monitor your working session, let the agent just look at you cooking and give you instructions as you're cooking, and things like these, right? Creative work. Let the agent give you feedback while you're drawing, while you're like creating stuff, right? So that's kind of the point. And I thought I will basically build more on top of these for the educational stack that I'm building, but in the form that this is right now here, that is very sort of agnostic of the use case. It's basically here the Encolommer / video tool. And right now, this only works with Hermes, okay? Because the integration is quite deep, right? Because it actually goes and exploits the different mechanisms to inject prompts and whatnot. So it's coupled to the architecture of Hermes. And for OpenClaw, I have to port it to OpenClaw, and for Elisa OS as well. But I will do that. Those make a lot of sense as well. And no WhatsApps, no Telegrams, no nothing, none of this stuff, right? I'm gonna try to do, because I feel pity because I didn't show the Excalibur thing. I'm gonna try to do that again so you can see this, because I actually liked it a lot. Let me see if I can do the following. I'm gonna try. First, let's turn the agent on again, and I'm gonna add the screen. Oh, I'm gonna switch to my MacBook later. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, give me a second, because I have here. So now this is my MacBook and this is my workstation. So we'll do these. Okay, I forgot to switch that. Let me just do these. So let's just go and so perfect. I'm gonna say, hey, I want to do another math session. Let's hop on a screen share call. Let's see what it does. If it's gonna pick the video call, the screen share, perfect. So, and it's actually doing its session. It's really isolating the sessions, right? So you could actually have multiple running at the same time. So I'm gonna copy this link. Now I'm gonna switch to MacBook. I'll now basically send this to myself, and let me just, sorry, I'm gonna, because I don't want to leak my chat history. Go back to here. Let me open in chat here. Perfect. So I will just use these. All right. And I'm going to share. That's how it looks like. Let me switch to MacBook. So that's how it looks like. I'm sharing my full screen. And now it's like that. And I'm going to ask Hermes, can you see the screen?
Hey, I see your screen, including the whole of mirrors.
Yeah, the Hall of Mirrors was before, so it's okay. Let's. Can you please act as a math companion? I am going to basically work on some equations, and I want you to tell me when I'm getting something wrong.
Got it. I'll jump in immediately if I see an error. Proceed.
So we're doing a system of equations. It's going to be 6 times x 6 times x times x, and I'm going to basically say y what I'm doing y so y squared basically, and y equals 9 plus, let's say, 45 divided by
Got it. $6 times 10 to the power of 6. Standing by for the rest. Got it. Y equals 9 plus dollars. Watching for the rest.
Okay, I'm not so sure it's getting the image well, but let's just zoom in a bit. Okay, so now I'm gonna work on the equation, right? Stop me if I'm making a mistake. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to move the 9 to this side of the equation.
Seeing it clearly now. Go ahead.
Cool.
Zoom helps. I'm locked in. Carry on.
All right, so I've basically now just flipped the 9 and the y. Is that correct?
Hey, check that sign. Should be y minus 9.
And what about now? Does it look good?
Looks correct. Carry on.
Yeah, and now, so what I will do is I will actually move the y back as you suggested, because again, I'm doing it kind of on purpose, right? But and now we have 45 divided by x. So what I'm going to do essentially is the same as saying y minus 9 and all the stuff divided by x, right? I just move the x to the other side, right? I mean, that's kind of that's what you would do.
Yep. X equals 45 over y minus 9.
You got it correctly, but
Wait, should be times x, not divided.
Yeah, exactly. Wait, yeah, should be times x. Thank you very much. Anyway, you get the gist of it, right? So it's actually following, and as I said, it's not perfect because I'm not timing the responses and the silent detection maybe really well, but you get the gist of it. So can we stop the call, please?
I get it. The flow is working well.
I want to stop the call. Yeah, okay, I don't know if you see this, but it's basically a stop the session, right? So it actually stopped the session. So we're back at this. I'm going to close this. Yes. And so what has happened basically is essentially this, right? Let me just go back to the chat and to OBS. Perfect. So yeah, essentially that's what I wanted to show. You know, from here I'm going to basically try to polish it, and it's, you know, it's relatively easy to install. As I said, it should actually work out of the box. Just install it from the repo, right? It's a public repo, so you can just do Hermes plugins, install the encoder/video tool, and as I said, these works. The advantage of these is that if you use a local model plus video tool plus HTTS, I think that's what it's called. Like, so the need is like it's not HTTS, it's local / Whisper maybe, I don't know. There is a provider that Hermes supports that is local TTS and STT, which I get it, it's not as good as XAI, but if you do these local model, video tool, and HTTS, and essentially all in your LAN network. Like this equals to like 100% private video plus audio convo with your agent. And it's, you know, you can build from here, right? So you can actually add maybe an overlay. You could fork this repository, add an overlay, make it like look like a call software and whatnot. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use these to build on top of that to make to really optimize it for educational purposes, so that it actually acts like a tutor, like a Socratic type of tutor, that is basically you can talk to while you're doing a learning session on something. And also even on your phone, so maybe you're doing drawing practice or you're teaching your kids to draw and things like these, right? That's good because you don't care if your child is in the image, right? That's the advantage. It's like if you're doing stuff with kids and you still want the advantage of a tutor through your agent, and you don't want the images to go out on the internet and end up, you know, analyzed by some weird provider, and you don't know, you know, where they end up, right? It's a full local setup that you can use. So I hope you liked it. Go check the repository, and have fun with it. Bye bye.